What's up, Warrior Boys? Back with another reaction that you guys have sent and requested. We have another animator called Saga the Youngest Saga. Okay, heard of this boy before. I've seen his videos before, like on a recommendation. I need to tune up and see what his animations are about. We have Skipping Class B Like. Oh boy, do I know all about skipping class, and do I know about all the troubles that comes with doing it. So let's get straight to it.
Tell me why, in high school, every time I would leave the classroom, it could be any period, any time of the day, you step out the classroom, and it was always the same 7 kids out there wandering around the hallways. You got the absentee Avengers out here posted up. In fact, if you didn't see one of the regulars out there, you wouldn't even think they were in class. You just assumed they were at home that day.
Yeah.
How are you going to show up absent?
I've had people that used to skip class and go home and just sit around and watch TV and wait for all the other students to leave school so they can come home and hang around with them. I'm like, dude, what's the point? Why don't you just stay in school with the kids in the first place? All your friends are there. What are you doing at home? Watching what? TV, cartoons, playing video games? It's boring by yourself. So I didn't ever get it. I didn't get it.
For being absent. And you already know they got the worst, most non-believable excuses ready to go for when the golf cart security pulls up on them. Other than that, they're trying to sneak around the hallways. They were really out here playing real life Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And they were always just randomly spawning outside your class. You'd see them through the little window, staring at the class on the other side with a devious grin. Like, why are you never in class,
So
bro?
true,
and
bro.
everyone sees them but the teacher. The teacher would take forever to catch on, talking about, what are you?
Yo, that used to be the worst when the homie comes knock on the window. He's looking at you like, yo, come on, man. Come on with me. Skip class with me. And you over there like, hey, cut it out. But sometimes you got to go ask the teacher if you can use the bathroom, which is another thing. The whole going and asking a teacher to use the bathroom. Can't wait to talk about that in my animations.
You guys all looking at? Although, I can't lie, if you were ever wandering the halls, it was just something about walking past the classroom and you see the homie inside, you just had to go up to the window and cause a disturbance. Something on the inside would feel incomplete if you didn't. I remember I took this class called Media one year. It was in one of the school's computer labs, and the whole class, every day, was basically a do whatever you want on the computers for an hour type of class. There was definitely never homework. In fact, at least once a week, the teacher, he would just throw up a movie on the projector, call it a day, so nobody was skipping that.
Those were my favorite classes. When you see the teacher come in and turn the television on, first of all, probably the teacher's coming home from a hangover or something, but they don't want to teach that day. But the ones used to suck. Not only are they going to let you watch the show, you have like some sheet that you have to keep up with it and answer the quiz. They have like questions about each. And then funny part, whenever you're following it, if you skip one, then you got to look around and ask your friend, like, what question are we on? We on 10? Damn, we on 10. I'm on 3. How did you get to 10? Those used to suck.
Class. I mean, you were already skipping class just by signing up for that class. And so what it turned into was the class that everybody else who skipped class would just congregate in to have a place to chill.
Yep.
Especially because the teacher, he did not care at all. He would let whoever come through, anybody and everybody, no questions asked. All he was concerned with was pressing play on Shrek and then relaxing himself. That's crazy. I've never seen a teacher skip his own class before. Shout out to bro. But there were random kids in that class every day. I'd walk in and wonder, who's going to show up today. Only class I've seen with 110% attendance rate. So them hallway hoppers, that was their HQ. It was the Hall Roamer convention every day in that room. But the most wild skipping class incident I have ever witnessed, which blew my mind when I saw this. And this goes way beyond just simply skipping class. Because in high school, I played golf for the school, right? And one day we had a golf match against a prison school.
Yo, what high school did you go to? Y'all had golf? And where y'all playing golf? Outside in the regular field? Oh, man, y'all had money. I don't know what school he went to, but he's got some.
Which is kind of a wild situation to begin with, because my school is one of the smaller ones in the district. So
Really?
I guess they put us in the prison school in the same division. So we were hitting the course with kids that were doing Grand Theft Auto and grand larceny and things of that nature. And it was on that day I found out the prison school even had a golf team. So we pull up to the course, right? We get in our groups and start the match. And in the group that I was playing with, it was my...
Okay, now I'm super fascinated. So you guys, we did that once where in PE class, we drove to a golf course and then actually played golf. But having a golf team, that means it costs money to do this. Who is paying for this? Are y'all paying for this? Is the school paying for this? Where's the money coming from?
Myself and my teammate, a kid from a third school, and then a kid from the prison school, and his name was Bruno. And this match, I remember we were playing way on this far out remote course, somewhere in the middle of the desert. Took us forever to get there, so we were out in the boonies. And the way these golf matches worked is they didn't give us golf carts, so instead you would walk the whole course with your group. And the coaches would stop by maybe once every 30 minutes just to check in, watch a couple shots, and then drive off to a different group. So aside from that, nobody else is really watching you. It was just you and your group walking in this huge field of grass and dirt.
Well, okay, so I'm guessing this is an after school activity. There's no way every 30 minutes that means you're after school. Okay, number one. Number two, that actually sounds like fun. If the coach is just coming in and watching you every few minutes and he's going on and doing his own thing, he might be over there drinking or something. But if they gave y'all golf carts on top of that, because when you're 16 and up, you can drive. And it's a golf cart. You don't need a license to drive. So you can just, kids will be tearing up. In my school, if you gave us golf carts, oh, good luck.
Out in the middle of nowhere. So we're golfing with Bruno, and look, I don't know what bro did to find himself incarcerated, but he was a cool guy, at least on that day. And he was telling us all about jail school. He's like, yeah, the only reason I even joined the golf team was so I could leave that place and be out on the outside for once. And we're like 45 minutes into the match. We're on maybe the fourth hole when Bruno was like, yeah, anyways, guys, I wish you all the best in life. But as for me, I'm out. And then proceeded to drop his bag of clubs in the dirt and just started walking away. And he just kept walking and walking and walking until he disappeared. Bro literally disappeared into the horizon. The three of us are standing there looking at each other like, ain't no way. But could you blame him? This man saw his chance for freedom and took it. Forget about skipping class. This man skipped the entire prison sentence. Not gonna lie though, they probably found him like 2 days later at a Burger King or something. At which point he was most likely promptly removed from the golf team. And to be honest, they might have just removed the golf team as a whole at that point, because after that incident, they did not show up on the schedule again. I remember my senior year of high school, I only had 3 classes left that I needed to graduate, but I guess they had a bare minimum amount of hours you had to be at school every day, so they had me choose a couple filler classes to make those hours up. So my friend Omar, who was in the same situation, and myself decided to take gym class as one of our filler classes. Now, once the school year...
Let me tell you something. My senior year was crazy. I had team sports. I had lifetime sports. I had weightlifting. I had completed all my courses to go to college. I was already accepted in college. I was chilling, dog. And I was coming in school late. I was leaving early. Bro, those were the days.
We found out that our gym period was the period right before lunch. And the problem with that was that the gym was on the direct opposite corner of the entire campus from the cafeteria.
Dang.
Like out of every singular building, these were the two that were the furthest apart from each other. So of course, that meant that our entire class would be getting to the cafeteria dead last. We'd pull up, the line is out the doors, and then by the time you did get to the front, all the somewhat tolerable food was gone and you'd be stuck with mystery meat surprise. And then you spent so long waiting in line anyways, half your lunch was over by the time you did get your food. It was just an all-around bad situation. So after many times of going through that, our class, we got fed up. We start thinking and plotting. How can we start skipping out on gym class early so we can get a head start on this walk across the entire campus to the cafeteria, get some decent food? You know, you finish gym class, then you still have the cross country component. They really put a bonus round on the end. But the thing with gym class is
that's the crazy thing I noticed nowadays. Like, schools are a lot bigger than I remember them. Like, I've seen some campuses with thousands of kids, like 3, 4, 5, 6,000. It's crazy out here.
Teacher sent us back to the locker rooms the last 10 minutes of the period to change and shower, so it would actually be pretty easy to leave early straight from the locker room, except for the fact that after we did this a couple of times, our gym teacher, she starts to catch on, and she did not like that. So she put a stop to that immediately, said she was going to start handing out lunch detentions to anybody who tried to skip out of the locker room early. She actually created a rule. She allowed us to step outside the locker room, but there were these water fountains on the wall. She said if she ever caught anybody past the water fountains before the bell dismissed us, then you could forget about any lunch at all because you were going to spend your whole lunch period in lunch detention. And so she would watch us, but she wouldn't be watching us every singular second because she would be in the girls' locker room 50 yards down the sidewalk. However, she would pop her head out of their door, but at random moments, do a quick look around just to make sure everybody was behind her water fountain line.
Okay.
So if you were bold enough, you could try and make a run for it. You could risk it for the biscuit, literally. Now, if you thought you could time it correctly, you had to sprint out past the water fountains, past the girls' locker room, without her popping her head out and doing a random check. The problem was, even after you crossed the long sidewalk, you still weren't done, because then there was this little parking lot area they kept these little buses at, which was still in view from the locker room. So you had to make your way through all of that, and then after the buses, the hallway started up again, and you could disappear into there and you'd be safe. It was like a three-legged thing. Because there were definitely a few kids who tried to make a run for it and got caught right in the act.
Dang.
I remember one time this one kid, he was fed up. He's like, whatever, I'm just gonna book it. This man starts flying down the sidewalk. He's making his way through the buses, and he was so close to freedom, at which point she cracked open the door, swiveled her head around, caught him right in the act.
Dang.
She yelled loud down the sidewalk, told him he could turn around and run right back. And he spent his lunch in lunch detention. So it was basically all or nothing. You either escape and have a good lunch or get caught and get no lunch.
All right. Number one question I have about this. Are y'all not getting like cleaned up after PE class? So y'all walking straight out of PE, skipping the whole process of going into the locker room, putting deodorant on? Y'all know that skill. Because, kids nowadays don't take showers after gym class. Because gym class, when y'all get out, you are stinking. So the fact that you guys are skipping that early phase so y'all can get to whatever y'all going golf or I think it's going to lunch. Y'all are stinking up lunch.
It was like playing roulette with your lunch period. But I remember one day came around, it was like a Friday, only a month before the school year ended. There was a group of like 15 of us that were thinking about just running for it. We're looking out at the journey ahead, trying to assess the risk. But we were just fed up, so everybody agreed, you know what? Let's just all make a run for it together. So we were either all getting caught or all getting away. So we're there by the water fountain, keeping...
Yo, that's like my video when we went to the girls' locker room. Oh, snap! Yo, he's giving me flashbacks right now.
Locker room door. And we decide that on the count of 3, we're just gonna book it, sprint for dear life, and hope we make it to the hallways. So we all get ready. Omar was there, lined up to the right. And this one kid, he counts down from 3, and we all just start sprinting. So we're running down the sidewalk. There were a few people in front of me, a few people behind me. So I passed the locker room door, which was checkpoint number 1. And I'm not gonna lie, not even 2 seconds after I passed that door, it was a big heavy metal door, right? I hear it crack open. It was loud when it opened. I didn't even look. I just heard it. I was like, oh nah, we failed the mission. This was a horrible idea. And I don't know about whoever was behind me, but I was right next to the buses at this point. So I hopped behind one of those. Omar was right there as well. So he got behind one to the left. And I just...
Wait, I am so confused how your school setup is. So to get out of gym, you have to go outside through the buses, I guess the parking lot, to get to lunch? What? There's no other way? Maybe this is because y'all sneaking out through the back. That probably was what it is. My bad.
Hoped that we were quick enough that she didn't see us, and I was feeling pretty hopeful that she didn't because I can't see anything, but I hear her. She starts yelling at all the individuals that were stuck out in the open, and yeah, she was off of something different. She's going crazy. She was out for blood, yelling. She's like, everybody up against the wall. You're all getting lunch detention. One kid, he just kept on running. I think he figured, hey, the year is over in 3 weeks. I'm just going to keep going. Took a page out of Bruno's playbook. But everybody else caught a bad break. So I'm behind the bus listening to all the commotion. She's yelling at everybody to get up against the wall. Now, at this point, I decide to peek around the corner of the bus just to get a visual of the situation. And I remember there was a portable storage unit in front of the girls' locker room right there. Some kid was trying to hide behind that, but she was smart. She noticed him. She saw his shadow sticking out from it, checked behind it, caught him, had him line up against the wall. And so I'm there, stuck, hiding behind this bus. The hallway is too out in the open to try and run over there. But I'm feeling like I'm safe at this point. I'm just hoping she doesn't see my feet beneath the bus or something and I get found out like storage unit kid. I look over at Omar. He's standing there frozen, looking dead straight ahead. I swear he had a drop of sweat falling down the side of his head.
Yo, doing all this is crazy just to get to lunch a little bit early. But you know what? The school's about to end. It says senior year as well. Who cares? What they going to do?
And so she had like 8 or 9 people rounded up against the wall and she's yelling at them, going crazy, when I decide to take a second peek around the corner. And I'm looking around the bus when one of my classmates came out of the girls' locker room, probably to see what all the commotion was. And as I'm watching the teacher go in on everybody, this girl notices me peeking around the bus, made direct eye contact with each other. So we both noticed each other, and then she snitched on me.
Dang.
Threw me under the bus, no pun intended. She's like, "Miss Teacher, you missed somebody. Look at him over there." And so now she already knew, so I had to give myself up at that point before she started walking over there and found Omar too, because he was still cool behind his spot. But me, myself, I had to give myself up. Got in line next to all the other delinquents, and that's what I get for being curious. So yeah, I think a couple people made it to the hallways. Omar was able to stay hidden, but the rest of us, mission failed in catastrophic fashion. And that kid that ran away anyways, I don't know what the plan was there because he still had to come back to class after the weekend. Him and Bruno are not slick. But yeah, that's all for this video, guys. I appreciate the wait on your guys' part for this one. These past months, I've been working to solidify a team to help with the videos. So that's what I've been up to. But I will say, I do have another video in the vault ready to go. So that one will probably be out within a couple weeks of this one. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.
All right, shout out to my boy, Saga the Youngin. Okay, let me tell you something. Respect to all animators. I'm someone who spends hundreds of hours every single day of my life, dedicating my life into making the best animated stories. People do not understand. Make sure you hit that like. Let me hit that like for him right now. People do not understand the work it takes to be an animator. People send me messages all the time asking me, I want to be an animator. You inspire me to be an animator. That's all great, but do you understand the work you need to put in to be this guy? Well, it's a lot of work, man. See you guys on the next one.